What is up, guys? It's your boy, Mr. Tech Boy. Today we're going to be talking about Apple Glasses leaks, my theories on Apple Glasses and AR headset as a whole, and how Apple has planned for Apple's AR headset and glasses to replace the iPhone. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so first off, what is AR? So AR basically means that you can take the digital world and basically project it onto what you're looking at in the real world. This has been shown off by Microsoft and Google with Google Glass and Microsoft HoloLens. Both of these were made for enterprises, they weren't really made for consumers. Now Apple plans to make their headset for consumers. Apple currently already offers the AR kit, which allows developers to make apps using AR. So VR is basically a 360 view. You don't really get those elements of the real world. You really only get a digital screen that basically wraps all around you in 360, and that's how it works. So there are a lot of VR headsets on the market right now. There's ones made by Valve, ones made by Oculus, and Oculus, in my opinion, makes the best ones. So a lot of headsets, you have to buy a $2,000 gaming PC, you gotta get the good GPU and blah blah blah. The Oculus, it comes with a built-in chip. You don't have to spend any extra money, but there are some issues with it. It does use a Snapdragon 835, which is a very old chip. The latest Snapdragon is the 865, it came out this year. The one before that was the 855, the one before that is the 845. So that's quite a few years old. Very old chip to be powering an extremely high resolution display. It's supposed to have the latest technologies, but it uses an extremely old chip. How does it do that? Well, it has a fan. So in order to keep it from overheating, it has a built-in fan. So in order to have all of that power, you need to not only have the chip, you need to have a fan. If Oculus were to put an 855 or an 865, they would be able to probably shrink down the size of the headset. And that brings me to my next point, which is in 2021, Apple's expected to announce this headset. So the first version will be a headset, it won't be a pair of glasses. And in 2022 they will release it. The reason they're announcing it 1 year ahead is because they want developers to start working on their apps early. They don't want developers to not have an app when this thing launches, because I think Apple knows apps are very important. In order for people to like a device, there has to be good apps, right? People don't really just use the stock apps on their phone. That's not how it works. There's an app store, people go, they want to download social media apps, they want to download messaging apps, they want to download games, they want to do interesting stuff on their devices. That's why developers making apps is extremely important, and they need to make sure that they cater to developers. They need to make sure that developers understand how to make these AR apps, they understand how important AR is, and AR is very important to Apple. Tim Cook has said it's the next big thing, and it's going to revolutionize everything. He has said a lot of big things, and if the CEO of Apple is saying that AR is going to be the next big thing, then you should expect Apple to make AR the next big thing. There's already AR in your iPhone. It's not going to be as great as having a headset or a pair of glasses. Having to hold up your iPhone to play games like this is not going to be as great as just having it on your face and being able to use hand gestures or maybe some type of controller. But I see a huge practicality of this being gaming. Gaming is already huge with the VR market. There isn't really much other stuff that you can do with a VR headset besides gaming. I guess content watching and stuff, and maybe watching movies or something, but it's mainly gaming, right? So Apple is definitely going to cater to the gaming community. They're definitely going to make sure that this is a great gaming device. That's what a lot of people buy VR headsets for right now, so that is probably their main concern. So yeah, that's their plan. They have this headset planned for the future, and here's basically what we know about it. So originally Apple planned to create this incredible headset. It's gonna have 8K display per each eye, but it was basically canceled. Now DigiTimes, not so reliable. is saying that Apple is going to be announcing this Apple glasses or Apple headset or Apple AR headset, whatever you want to call it. I don't really know the name. Basically, they're saying that Valve is going to produce it, and Valve already makes headsets, as I've said. So they're going to be producing it. I don't know if it's going to have the 8K display as was leaked, but we'll see. Now, Valve already makes expensive devices, as I've said. By that time, Valve could probably make something way better for Apple that could be much more advanced. Again, it doesn't have to have that chip that Oculus has. Oculus has, the A35. This is going to tether to your iPhone, your iPad, or your Mac, as has been leaked. It's been leaked that that's how it's going to be. So you're going to need to have your iPhone, your iPad, or your Mac maybe within maybe 10, 20 feet away, and you'll be able to use it. In another year after the Apple glasses are released, it's going to be basically the Apple glasses Air. I kind of had a video about this, a little bit less in depth, but basically it's a much thinner version of this Apple headset that I'm talking about. Going to be basically just normal frames, normal glasses, not a big bulky VR headset slash AR headset, but just normal frames. But we don't really know too much about those. Maybe those will be the ones that'll have the 8K display. I'm not too sure. And something huge that we know that Apple really does want these to be the next big thing is because Apple actually held an event of over 1,000 plus Apple employees in the Steve Jobs Theater, the place where they actually announced all of the products, talking just about Apple glasses. It was led by Apple's leader of AR and VR, Mike Rockwell. He is the leader of Apple's AR and VR team, and basically he led this event. He talked about how it's going to be the future, how Apple glasses will replace the iPhone in about a decade's time. Now, you might be thinking, well, this is a headset, right? I don't really want to use a headset over my phone. That's kind of weird. And I can see where you're coming from, right? When this thing first comes out, it's not gonna be able to replace your iPhone. It's not gonna be better than your iPhone. The cameras will be lackluster. They're going to be very basic cameras. They're still gonna require your iPhone. You're not gonna be able to use it without your iPhone. But I think maybe 5-6 years, some people will slowly start to transition, and by 10 years, most people will have smart glasses over a smartphone. That may be very weird to believe, but you have to consider things like the iPod, very, very popular stuff. iPhone comes out and people don't really want it, but after a few years' time, they start introducing new updates. They start introducing new stuff that it can do. People start to get more excited about it. People start to decide, okay, maybe I should get that. If you think about it, actually, Apple still sells the iPod for about $200 on their website. Nobody should buy that. Don't buy that, but they still do. So maybe 10 years down the line, we have this super advanced Apple glasses that we can't even imagine right now. And the iPhone, state of the art, specs we can't even imagine that could come out in 2 years. Those kind of specs with those kind of speeds and battery life will only be $200 and be seen as unadvanced compared to the superior Apple glasses. Apple is basically going to make first a headset that's slightly thinner than the ones that are on the market right now compared to the Oculus Quest, since it doesn't have to have a built-in chip, so it tethers to your smartphone. It could also probably have much better battery life, since it doesn't need to be powering a chip. It just needs to be powering some type of Bluetooth communication between your device. What you have right now basically just uses cameras. In the future, they're going to have 3D time of flight sensing and be able to scan the environment in 3D. You can scan your hands in 3D, be able to get a much better view and much better analysis of their 3D environment, so that your games and whatever you're doing can be more accurate. Imagine if you could have your Instagram feed, your Twitter feed, blah blah blah, whatever you want, your social media. You can have maybe some app open over here, some note you're working on. You can have a video up here, just random stuff playing in the real world. That's what AR is. That's what AR will allow us to do. That's really the future that we're going into. That's the future that Apple believes that we're going to go into. A lot of companies are kind of questioning that. They're not really working on AR devices. They're really working, like Samsung and Razer, oddly, are working on foldable phones and different form factors and different types. Foldable phones are very fragile. And overall, they're very similar to the slabs that we have right now, right? We all really have, regardless of your iPhone or Android or blah blah blah, you really just have a screen that's a box like this. It has a camera on the back. and that's about it. Maybe there's a little bit of differences between them, but overall, they've stayed the same for quite a while. Maybe now Samsung's will fold, but overall, that's very similar. Apple is going to change the industry by introducing something completely new. But just to debunk something, so it's said that they're gonna have 8K displays. I don't think that the first version will have an 8K display. Number one, that's extremely expensive. So the way AR and VR headsets work is that there's one display for each eye. So it said that one is going to be 8K, the other is going to be 8K. Overall, that's 16K because they have to be two different displays. So if you compare like current Apple TV, which is going to get updated anyway for the fact that it can't really handle 4K gaming, but let's assume that, right? The Apple TV 4K used an A10X. If you look at Geekbench, A12X is about 2 times faster than the A10X, right? That couldn't even handle 8K. 8K uses about 4 times as much power. So the most powerful chip Apple makes right now is only half as powerful enough to process an 8K display. Then you gotta consider that there's 2 of them, 2 different displays for each eye. There's no way that they could do that. The A14 probably won't be powerful enough to power 2 8K displays. The A15 probably won't even be that powerful. There's no iPhone that'll be powerful enough. Maybe an iPad, maybe the A14X will be powerful enough, but it just doesn't make sense. I think maybe 2, 3, or 4 years down the line, they'll be able to do that. I just don't think that the chips that we have right now will be powerful enough to support that. I think what they'll do for the first version, maybe 1440p or 4K, which is something they can actually handle and it's something they can actually achieve using chips that are around right now. There's been a lot of leaks and a lot of stuff that I talked about in this video, including the time of flight sensor, the leaks on how Apple plans for it to replace the iPhone, and overall just how it's going to work. How is this UI going to work? I don't know if it's going to have this floating UI that I kind of mentioned. That would be amazing, right? That would just be the dream. I don't know, right? These are just leaks of people that we're kind of just trusting to be reliable. Some people, we already know if they're reliable or not. Some people we're just kind of trusting and assuming that they're correct. But yeah, that's about it. These Apple Glasses videos always do really well. So if you did enjoy the video, make sure to leave a comment letting me know how you think I can improve the videos in the future, or how you think you think I did a good job on for the video. And if you really enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram and Twitter, link in the description. My name is Mr. Tech Boy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.